All right, welcome back to the show. My name is McCue. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are out on a 15-mile run in the Saucony Endorphin Speed, and today's about paying homage. Today is about putting these shoes over 300 miles. Let's just enjoy it. Let's push it. And this is the beginning of the end for me. All right, what is going on, everybody? We are back in the apartment and we're gonna go over the run, but mainly we are going to review the Saucony Endorphin Speed after 300 miles. So my last run that I just did, it was actually last Sunday. It's been a couple days, 15 miles, 8:31 average pace, 2:07 moving time, 2:33 elevation gain, and an average heart rate of 160 BPM. So it was an amazing way to go out with the Saucony Endorphin Speed. These bad boys, I cannot tell you, well, I'm going to tell you how much I really, really like these shoes. They were the hit of 2020, at least the Endorphin line, I would say, was kind of the hit of 2020 so far. They are the partner tempo shoe of the Endorphin Pros, which I haven't tried, but I've heard are incredibly similar, minus a couple things removed from the Speed to make it the ultimate race shoe. Obviously, it has the carbon plate. This is the nylon plate, and this was kind of the shoe, the go-to shoe if you didn't want to go for a carbon plate. This was the first shoe I heard about where the nylon plate just really brought it home. But now that I have introduced to you the Saucony Endorphin Speed, if you have not heard of it, if you have lived under a rock, we're going to get into my experience, the likes, the dislikes, who I think should buy this, who it's perfect for, kind of everyone. But let's get into the Saucony Endorphin Speed after 300 miles.
Yo. Raising the Tobagos, we growing like fresh tomatoes. Them boys on fire, too fuego. We pass it round hot potato. Everything is new wavo. I'm with my sweetie like Quavo.
All right, so for this part, I just want to introduce you to the shoe. We're going to recap some of the specs and the goods of it. So if I just put the shoe right about there, the Saucony Endorphin Speed was built as a neutral shoe. It has a 35.5 millimeter stack in the heel to a 27.5 millimeter in the toe, leaving an 8 millimeter drop. The weight comes in at 7.8 ounces, 221 grams, in a men's size 9. So this size 10 is a little bit heavier. It has an upper engineered mesh with minimal 3D structural printing. It has an ultralight P-box based Power Run PB, which is the ultra cushioned midsole that I have fallen in love with. And above that, it has speed roll technology, which I'll get into a little bit later, and how I think the speed roll technology works so well with the nylon plate. But that's the specs. I just wanted to reintroduce you to that so that now we can get into some of the things, all of the things that I absolutely love about this shoe.
No matter what they call it, no matter what they want it, they don't know there's no way they'll ever get it.
Okay, so what do I absolutely love about this shoe? Number one, lockdown. From heel to toe, the lockdown in this shoe from the first time I stepped foot in it was absolutely awesome. I have always thought that I have fit perfectly into Saucony's. The only other shoe I've actually run in was the Kinvara 10s and 11s, but I felt like the fit was exactly the same in these. I jumped into them and it was perfect. That's all I'll say about that. It was absolutely perfect. Breathability. I think the breathability on this shoe is absolutely awesome. While it is most likely slightly better in the Pro due to it being just like a thinner upper mesh, I still think this is super thin. It does not get that like swampy, sloshy feeling. I took it out for, this was a 15 miler, but the weekend before I took it out for a 20-mile run. I went all out. It was August, North Carolina, super humid, 85 plus degrees Fahrenheit, and I did not get swampy in over 3 hours of running in these shoes straight. So that's a really good sign for me, and like kind of in the ultimate test environment of breathability. Okay, so the one aspect that makes this shoe really interesting is the nylon plate that is between, the base of the foot and the midsole. So it's a little bit more forgiving than the carbon plate shoes, right? And I think that this works really, really well in this shoe when it gives you that kind of responsive race feel of the plate, but also the super kind of cushioned PB midsole. I think they work so well together in that you're getting that like race vibe from the plate and kind of the responsiveness, and you can really feel the road underneath you. You're not just a full-on cushion ride, but like the PB, this midsole just really brings you into like on a cloud, but also with some springiness with the nylon plate, which I don't think you really, I think you get more of like a race responsive feel in shoes that are actually the carbon plate, because it's quite a bit more firm. Like this, look at that. I can bend that up. I can bend that right up. Like you can't do that with a carbon plate shoe. At least I haven't seen anyone do that. I always see people try to like squeeze them up and they're really firm. The carbon plate does not bend that much, but that's why it it's so strong with that like recoil. So like I think the nylon plate and the midsole just work so smooth together. It's super lightweight and it just functions really well together. I feel like I kind of just rolled into this portion, but like the next thing I really like about this shoe is obviously comfort. I mean, that's something that you expect from any shoe that you go ahead and do 300 miles in, but from day one in this shoe at a number of speeds as well, because I think that's important. A lot of people feel like certain shoes are kind of odd and firm until they get to a certain pace, and then they start to feel more comfortable at faster speeds. This shoe on a slow, long run and an all-out 5K time trial, I felt comfortable, fit, locked down, never any blisters, never any rubbing, no hot spots. There was just an instant comfort for every workout I was doing in this shoe, which is like something that you don't get that every day. That's special. There's something special there. And one thing I kind of hinted at right there was the versatility of this shoe. I did time trials in these at 5K. I PB'd last month, closing in on that sub 19. We're not there yet, but we're closing in. So yeah, you can do 5Ks in this thing. You can do 20-mile long runs. I would 100% run a marathon in this shoe. I am tempted to get the Pro for a marathon attempt, but if this is all you got and you're only going to buy one shoe, this is the shoe for you. You can do any workout in the Saucony Endorphin Speed. At least I have, and I have not had any problems, which brings me to the last aspect that I love about this shoe, the aesthetics. I know it's not important, but I think it is. And I think it just looks really cool. It hit the mark really well on like the flashy nylon colors, but at the same time, it's reserved and it's not too flashy. I like the white. I think the blue and the pink kind of play off in a cotton candy, fun color scheme. And then I think the yellow laces are interesting. I think it just kind of separates it a little bit from the look of the Pros that comes with, I believe, white laces. So like aesthetically, on top of all the things I love about this shoe, aesthetically, love it.
Playground parks with the trees and the cars, brownstone buildings with the kids on the porch, murals on the walls for the ones that we lost, bodegas on the corner, let me see what's in store.
Okay, so I've got 3 negatives. One is super nitpicky, and the other 2 do not have to do with actual functionality in the shoe. So over grand scheme, I am going to just preface this with like, there is no real negative for me about this shoe, but I did find some things that could be done differently or just kind of confuse me. Number 1, I have seen this all over YouTube. Tons of people have dropped comments in my videos about this. These shoes squeak. They are loud. They do not, patter on the ground as much as they legit, like the outsole squeaks as it comes off the ground, as it just kind of like rolls off. I don't really understand it, but like, again, it does not affect the shoe. I am just warning you, if you want to get this shoe and you don't run with headphones, I never run with headphones, you're going to be listening to yourself squeak quite a bit. You just have to get used to that. Moving from there, a similar thing as like the squeak is that it doesn't actually deter the shoe or like detriment the performance, but I would say that it got dirty super duper quick. Now it's a white shoe, obviously it's gonna get dirty, but like one run in the mud and I tried to like clean this upper a little bit and I just immediately gave up because it just has had this tint of light brown to it after 20 miles into the shoe. That being said, I don't think it hindered the performance of the shoe at all, and I really don't think it took anything away from running in the shoe, other than I was kind of bummed because it didn't look as freaking cool as it was when I first took it out. Thankfully, I did take some pictures right when I took it out of the box, so we're good. And one teensy, wincy thing that I think would improve this shoe would be taking away some of the cushion and thinning up the upper just a little bit more. Granted, I know like if you're sitting here watching this and you're familiar with the Pro, you're probably like, Kyle, just go buy the Endorphin Pro. Like that's literally what you're talking about. And like, I hear ya, but I'm just saying, I mean, the Speed is an amazing shoe and some of the like, it seems like there's just a little bit more upper on this shoe than the Pro, especially in the toe box and like further forward. Why not just make it as thin? Sure, keep the cushioning and the stability and like the plastic plates on the heel that you don't have in the Pro, but you know, just lighten up the load in the front. That's all I'm saying. Maybe it evens out the shoe. Maybe there's science and technology I don't understand about it, but like that would just be like my one little thing that like could make this shoe maybe a little bit better, a teeny bit lighter.
I'm staring through your window, looking up at the stars, up at the stars.
Okay, so final remarks is who should buy this shoe? I guess, do I recommend buying the shoe? A, yes, but specifically, who should buy this shoe? If you are looking for one shoe to add, I would say, to perhaps a more generalized cushioned daily trainer, and you're like, I'm going to pick up the speeds, I'm going to do tempo runs, I'm going to do long midweek runs, I'm going to do my long runs, and I could even race in these. That's the person that I think should buy this shoe. That being said, I would also say if you are looking for one shoe to truly do it all, I think this shoe can totally do it for you, especially if you have the same immediate comfort levels that I have had with other Saucony shoes. So ultimately, I think this is really great for someone who has one daily trainer is trying to add one more shoe to the rotation for speed, tempo, long runs. Basically, the days that you always look forward to, or if you are looking for one shoe to specifically do it all. Now, that being said, it does come in at $160, which is pretty expensive for, I guess, like a tempo run shoe, bearing in mind that the Saucony Endorphin Pro is a $200 shoe. So if you are someone who already has a daily trainer or two daily trainers and you're looking for one shoe that's going to be very specific to either just long runs or just long runs and just races, that's the person that I think might want to look at the Endorphin Pro rather than the Endorphin Speed. Take nothing away from this shoe. I have loved it. I've run 300 miles in it. So yeah, there are scenarios where the Speed's perfect, I think, at the $160 price point. And then for some people, maybe the $200 Endorphin Pro is a little bit of a better buy. All right, so we have come to the end of the video. Hopefully you made it this long. I thank you if you did. This was my review of the Saucony Endorphin Speed after 300 miles. Drop a comment down below if you have also run in this shoe and have had a similar experience or a different experience in this shoe. I definitely want to hear from you as well. That being said, please feel free to like, comment, or subscribe. I appreciate any love shown to the channel, and get out there, enjoy your runs, enjoy the week, stay safe. See you in the next video. You can like legit see the light through the shoe.